Call this meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Present.
trustee Zalick,
Here.
trustee LaRocca,
Here.
trustee Geezer,
Here.
trustee Fruzalone. Here. Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Severino.
We are conducting this meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees in accordance with the recently amended provisions of the Open Meetings Act. The Governor's disaster proclamation reissued November 13th, 2020, and the Governor's executive orders. Based upon the disaster proclamation and the executive orders, it has been determined that an in-person meeting is not practical nor prudent at this time. Therefore, this meeting is being conducted in a virtual conference format. Please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 1st, 2021 Village Board meeting? So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Zalick, seconded by trustee Fruzalone. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca,
Aye.
trustee Geezer,
Aye.
trustee Fruzalone. Aye. Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Do I have a motion of approval for the minutes of the February 1st, 2021 special workshop meeting? So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Garvey, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca, trustee Geezer,
Aye.
trustee Fruzalone. Aye. Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 8th, 2021 special workshop.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee LaRocca, seconded by trustee Fruzalone. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca,
Aye.
trustee Geezer,
Aye.
trustee Fruzalone. Aye. Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Next, I'm going to ask the chief to come up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and village trustees. This is a great night for the Carroll Stream Police Department. I'm excited to be in front of you tonight as we promote Commander Don Cummings to Deputy Chief Don Cummings. A little bit about Don. Don is in his 18th year with the Carroll Stream Police Department, where he's served the department and the community in several areas, including patrol, investigations, special operations, and of course, 5 years with the DuPage Metropolitan Enforcement Group, where he was instrumental in several high-profile investigations. Don was promoted to sergeant in 2015, commander in 2019, and he has a file full of commendations. In fact, there are too many to tell you about. In my short time with him here in Carroll Stream, I have found him to be motivated by self-improvement, and he has certainly earned the respect of those who work with and for him. Don earned his undergraduate degree in law enforcement and justice administration from Western Illinois University and his graduate degree in public administration from Northern Illinois University. He also teaches what most consider to be very confusing stuff for Northwestern Center for Public Safety. Carroll Stream is certainly fortunate to have him, and I'm proud to welcome him to the executive management team. Obviously, Don is supported here tonight by many Carroll Stream police officers and our partners from the fire district. He is also joined by his wife, Courtney, his adorable daughter, Olivia, his parents, Bill and Donna, his in-laws, Kathy, Larry, Taylor, Carrie, and Pete, who is a former Carroll Stream police officer, nephews Jackson and Peyton, and yes, niece Sadie too. Also, friends Jim McGreal and John Tarpey are also here to support him. Mr. Mayor, before I ask you to administer the oath, I'd like to ask Olivia to come up and present Deputy Chief Cummings with his badge.
Bill Carter. Down the other day and told him what an honor it is to be able to swear him in. Mr. Cummings, please raise your right hand. I, Don Cummings,
I, Don Cummings,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Carroll Stream,
the ordinances of the Village of Carroll Stream,
and that I will faithfully discharge,
and that I will faithfully discharge
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability
the duties of Deputy Police Chief in the Village of Carroll Stream.
the duties of Deputy Police Chief of the Village of Carroll Stream.
Congratulations, sir. And I think the kids should come up and take a picture with our Deputy Police Chief.
Beautiful.
Trustee McCarthy, thank you so much. Chief Homer, it was beautiful. I don't know what else to say, but thank you so much for this opportunity. I know Mayor Severino was in here. I was able to speak with him on the phone. Village Manager Meller, Assistant Village Manager Bill Carey, the entire village board, the entire staff, the words of encouragement, the sentiment of goodwill and faith has really been overwhelming, but more importantly, humbling. I'm honored to be here in front of you today, but I'm also well aware of the responsibilities that's being entrusted in. I'm truly honored, and I know I said this multiple times in the interview, but I'm excited. I'm excited what we have yet to accomplish as the department. I'm going to change things up a little bit. I want to first thank my family. My wife and daughter, beautiful Olivia, am I good? I saw the mic. Okay. My beautiful daughter, Olivia, my wonderful wife, Courtney, patience, forgiveness, patience, kindness, and then patience some more are just few adjectives I use to describe you. I'm not home a lot. I understand that, but I think you grasp the responsibility that not just I have, but the entire, the people within this room, caring for a municipality, caring for the people that come to this town, pulls me away from you, but you're never far from my heart. Olivia, no matter what happens at work, the accolades I receive, the promotions I get, you are my greatest achievement and will always be. Courtney, it's been a phenomenal marriage up to date. I'm a forward thinker, but I also want to make sure that I take nothing for granted. To my parents, Bill and Donna Cummings, the strongest people I ever met. Every positive attribute I have in my life is due to you both. Hard work, caring, compassion, empathy, humility, professional integrity. You display that on a daily basis. And because of that, I'm the person, not just the police officer, the leader, the supervisor. I'm the person I am today because of you both, because of the teachings. My my sister Megan, who's in Texas, my brother Bill, who's in New York, who can't be with me, but also are the reasons who I am today, positive or negative. They were big influences in my life. My in-laws, who I use that as a term, but truly, you're my family. There is no in-laws when it comes to it. My nieces and nephew, who I love you as if you were Olivia. You're my own children. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law Larry, my father-in-law Pete, and mother-in-law Shay, who are in Vegas. Very dear to my heart. This profession has given me a lot. It has given me the opportunity to expand outside of who I was. It's given me the opportunity to meet a lot of people. From that, my brother Pete. Again, I'm not using brother-in-law. He's working, going to school with him at Western, working with him at Carroll Stream. I tricked him enough to allow me to date his sister, which I continue to trick him to allow me to marry his sister. And I'm still in his good graces, so that means something. From that relationship, was able to meet John Tarpey, can develop a great friendship. And each one of these friendships with Jim McGreal, working with you at DUMEG, I've been able to grow as a person, not just with a friendship, but I've continued to develop. I surround myself with better people so I can continue to grow. Because first and foremost, I don't know everything. All right. And as your new deputy chief, I want to be clear in front with you. I don't know everything, but what I will do is ensure that I will do everything in my power to learn, to make you all better, because I want to continue to be better. We face a lot of difficulties, especially this past year. There's a lot of negative resentment, a false narrative. However, that influences us, but that cannot deter us what we need to do. We need to continue to provide the utmost professional, effective, efficient, and equitable treatment to every member of this village. With the service that the police department provides in conjunction with the fire department, we work phenomenally because we care about this community. The village board is successful because they care about this community. No matter what you hear, what negative falsehoods you might hear about the profession, understand that those don't happen in Carroll Stream because of the group of dedicated men and women that serve this village. The 92 people within the department, the 68 that are sworn officers, day in, day out, continue to put others before themselves. Those are the people that I'm proud every single day to serve with. Those are the people that sometimes lead me away from home, that take me away from the two most important people in my life, because I want to make sure that the environment that you have to go in, day out, is as strong and produces sustainable excellence. I want you to feel how I feel about this department, how I feel about this village, how I feel about the men and women that make up this community. All right. And I want you to don't deter that, because remember, when you chose this profession, you are putting others before yourself every single day. And for nothing short, if I can't say anything else, it'll just say thank you. And I'm proud to serve with you, and I'm going to continue to serve with you for years to come. So in closing, thank you for this responsibility. I'm ready, able, and excited for the work ahead. And this is a phenomenal village, and the police department needs to be nothing short of that as well. Thank you.
Well, while Don's still in here, if anybody on the board would like to make a comment, I think it's better now than to wait for a report of officers.
I just want to congratulate Don. I've worked with him on many projects through the years, especially the parade, and he's always shown a leadership and professionalism, and I know he's going to do a terrific job. Oh, also on the prevention leadership team with the county. So he's a great communicator, and I hope and I know that he'll do a terrific job. Congratulations.
Trustee Garvey.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to add my congratulations to Chief Cummings. I'm really touched by his remarks, and I really appreciate, although we don't know each other, Really appreciate your commitment to this community and your commitment to service and commitment to excellence. We're a better village for having you with us. And I'd also like to thank Mrs. Cummings and her daughter for allowing him to serve our community. Thank you.
Trustee LaRocca?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Don, I can't thank you enough for everything that you do for the village. And that's not to say that the rest of the staff in the police department and really the whole village, they all do a great job and you do a great job. And it's a well-deserved promotion. Thank you so much. I know it was a difficult decision, but you certainly deserve the promotion, and I know you're going to do an excellent job for the village of Roselle. I've been retired for almost a year, and I'm still in Roselle, the village of Carroll Stream. Hey, clerk, X that, strike that last. You're going to do an excellent job for the village of Carroll Stream. I still got Roselle on me. You can't take 46 years out just like that.
Trustee Zalik?
Thanks.
John, congratulations. I worked side by side with you and when I was a police officer. I know how well respected you are in the department. I know some past deputy chiefs and chiefs didn't have that respect, but it's well earned, and I wish you the best of luck.
Trustee Frusaloni?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Don, it wasn't me. I wasn't the one who told you this time about your promotion, so very happy that I was one of the last ones to congratulate you. For those that don't know, I accidentally emailed him when he was promoted to commander because no one said it was a confidential email. So, whoops. So congratulations, Don. I've had the honor of working side by side with you in a different capacity besides just being on the board as a member of our phenomenal volunteer program. And you earned the respect of every member of our CERT program and every member of our Red Shirt volunteer program. They embraced you, they love you, they respect you. And what I love is that you really embrace community policing and really look for community outreach opportunities. And we're gonna make sure that as you're moving forward in your career, you continue to look for those opportunities and to support the men and women that are going out into the community every single day, make sure they have what they need to do their jobs, but also what they have to help our community. So congratulations. I am so excited for you, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
Thank you. Deputy Chief, congratulations. So very well earned. The interactions we've had, and I've watched you deal with the community in a way that just, it pinpoints that you'll excel at this job. To the men and women of the Carroll Stream Police Department, thank you again for showing what a family you guys are. When you guys come in and support your fellow officers, it again just shows us what a great team you guys are, and from top all the way down. So I do want to thank you guys. To the Cummings family, thanks for giving up Don all the time. You know, he stays a little busy here, but I'm sure he finds time for you guys too. So Don, congratulations, and I have nothing but I know you'll do wonderful. Congratulations. All right, you guys hanging out, or you want to sneak out?
Probably.
We'll give him a
chance
minute
to
here.
Sneak out. Maybe
Huh?
take a little 2-minute break to let everyone.
They're going to.
That's a nice start to a meeting. We're gonna finish up the listening post here. Tia, do we have any listening post items?
We have not received any Zoom electronic submissions, but we have received some electronic submissions via our website or with our.
Our village clerk is gonna read those.
So the first one is from Maggie Hernandez Zayas, resolution regarding House Bill 3653. I urge our board members to vote no regarding the resolution requesting that the governor veto House Bill 3653. This resolution is extremely disappointing to see our village bring to the table. There are three primary reasons I believe our board should vote no to this resolution. One, this resolution follows a series of partisan resolutions that have been proposed in several different cities and counties. This political theater hasn't been a productive part of any discussions surrounding this bill. Two, this resolution implies that any resident in support of this legislation is not supportive of our law enforcement or that this bill is inherently anti-police, both of which are untrue statements. Three, vague, hasty generalizations such as House Bill 3653 would create, quote, undesirable situations for community residents and police officers, end quote, are designed to push fear-mongering agenda of those who don't support House Bill 3653. This bill provides many remedies for victims of crimes to create a safer environment for our residents. As a victim of a violent crime, I was told by a police officer that I was overreacting only a year prior to my ex-partner attempting to murder me. This bill would have provided me additional protections and reporting options. In many ways, this bill provides much more desirable situations for members in our community. While this piece of legislation is not perfect, this bill provides several extremely important criminal justice reforms. Unlike this resolution implies, significantly changing criminal justice procedures in Illinois is not a negative thing. Our current criminal justice system does not work and is designed to serve those who are already in power in society, as opposed to the most vulnerable. I would expect our village to refuse to participate in useless political theater full of vague generalizations with no factual backing. Second comment by Susan Benjamin, Village Board Resolution relating to criminal justice reform legislation. Illinois is long overdue for criminal justice reform, and for the Village of Carroll Stream to strike a partisan tone with their non-binding quote-unquote resolution is irresponsible to the diverse community of Carroll Stream. This legislation deals with three very critical components in achieving real reform to our state justice system. One, this legislation would require officers across Illinois to be licensed by the state and outfitted with body cameras. Two, the bill would also end the use of money bond, meaning defendants in criminal cases could only be detained pre-trial if they're deemed a flight risk or a risk to the community. So many people have lost jobs, housing, and so much more, not because they've been found to be a danger to anyone's safety, but because of the size of their bank account. This system has prioritized access to wealth over public safety for far too long. It has caused irreparable harm to communities across our state. Three, the measure will allow for anonymous complaints to be made against police officers. Complainants currently have to sign an affidavit to do so, and it would amend the state's police certification and decertification process. The majority of this resolution is taking issue with process versus substance. How egregious of a position when lives and society are at stake. I expect and demand better from our village government. Get to the issues of governance, and stop with the partisan histrionics. Third comment from Devin Asperger. Vote no on the proposed resolution. Good evening, Mayor Severino and the Board of Trustees. I have come to understand that hope has started to develop on the horizon when it comes to criminal justice reform here in Illinois with the introduction of a new bill. To me, this is great news. I am disappointed to hear that the mayor and some members of the board think otherwise. I can understand feeling frustrated that a bill might not have had time to be properly talked through, but this resolution does not as though it is being made in good faith. It feels like a political tactic to keep police officers wielding as much unchecked power as they currently do. We talked back in June and July, just 7 months ago, not even a full year, about how necessary criminal justice reform was. We talked about the need for body cameras for all police officers. This bill includes that. We talked about the need to reform the unnecessary use of force when making arrests in other situations. This bill addresses that. In June and July, everyone agreed that change needed to happen, but we weren't sure how it was going to get done. Now a bill comes along that addresses those concerns, and suddenly there is a resolution opposing getting done exactly what we talked about. As representatives of Carroll Stream, the resolution proposing a veto on this bill is ignoring the desires of your community. You are actively working against their best interests and denying them what is specifically being asked for in a paternalistic, partisan, political waste of time. So I hope today everyone here votes no on this resolution to show their genuine devotion to listening to the community and taking this opportunity to step up to their roles. Especially you, Trustee LaRocca, who promised he would do just that after posting an explicitly racist Facebook post back in July. This right now is when you step up, because I have a very good memory and will jog everyone else's who is here by bringing up your promise and your past misdeeds for everyone to hold you accountable to. You said you were going to make up for your hurtful, terrifying actions, so do it. No amount of spin will convince me or anyone else otherwise. Vote no. I hope the rest of you do the same. Thank you and have a good evening. Devin Asperger. That's it.
Tia, any other comments?
No other comments have been submitted.
Your motion to establish consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusloni, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalik.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca. Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Clerk, please read what is on the agenda. I do understand we have to go I and then H in this case.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Ordinances. An ordinance authorizing the amendment of the annual budget of the Village of Carroll Stream for the fiscal year ending April 30th, 2021, to provide expenditure authority for a number of projects proposed in the working fiscal year 2021/22 draft budget that can be completed from available revenues in the current year.
Yes.
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 That is ordinance number 2021-02-02. Staff reports and recommendations. A contract for the purchase of police vehicle laptops to MNJ Technologies in the amount of $162,434.76 pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 5, Article 8, Section 5-8-14F of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
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 Number 2, a contract for the purchase of Dell Surface equipment to MNJ Technologies in the amount of $32,192.21 pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 5, Article 8, Section 5-8-14F of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
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 J, resolutions. Resolution authorizing the location, construction, operation, and maintenance of village infrastructure within the jurisdiction of the Department of Transportation of the State of Illinois.
Yes.
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 That is resolution number 3173. Number 2, resolution regarding House Bill 3653, Criminal Justice Reform Bill, disapproving of the legislative process and recommending a comprehensive trailer bill.
I'd like to table that.
I'd like it off for discussion, please.
Payment of bills. Regular bills, February 2nd, 2021 through February 16th, 2021.
Yes.
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 Addendum warrants, February 2nd, 2021 through February 16th, 2021.
Yes.
Yes.
Treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statements and balance sheet for the month ended January 31st, 2021.
Received.
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 you have a motion to put those items on consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by trustee Garvey, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca, trustee Gizer,
Aye.
trustee Frizoloni,
Aye.
trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve these items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Geezer, seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca, trustee Gizer,
Aye.
trustee Frizoloni,
Aye.
trustee McCarthy.
One left off. Trustee Frusaloni asked to pull off the resolution for House Bill 3653.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. The reason I pulled this off for discussion is I think there's a misunderstanding about what this resolution is and what it isn't. The board and our police chief, our police department, we are in firm support of police reform and criminal justice reform. We have said that and we mean it. The intent of this resolution was to ask Springfield to also do their jobs in good faith. And to do their job in good faith would be to take another look at this bill. There's some really good sections of this bill, and there are some very poorly worded sections of this bill. There's a lot more questions for this bill than there is answers. Part of the conversation needs to be replaced with the way that the process was done. There was very little discussion on this bill. It was passed through the middle of the night and with very little conversation amongst legislators. Law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges were not allowed at the table to have meaningful conversations and to help craft the language of the bill that, in essence, they're going to have to start enforcing in a very short amount of time. Several provisions of this bill go into effect as early as July 1st. That's not a long time for the people who have to do this job to be able to understand the law, because it's now a month after this law was passed, and even the co-sponsors of the bill don't understand the language of the bill. The bill is worded very confusing. It contradicts itself, and it also makes references to sections of the bill that actually aren't even in the bill. So it was the intent of this resolution to ask Springfield to go back and to bring members of law enforcement, members of the prosecutor's offices, members of judges, and anyone in the judicial process to come to the table and make a bipartisan bill. I don't care about politics. I really don't. And honestly, I'm a little offended that it's viewed that we brought this resolution as a political move, because we are all independents sitting on this board. We don't declare a party. We don't talk about which party we may or may not be affiliated with. We are responsible for 40,000 people in Carroll Stream and doing what's best for the residents of the village of Carroll Stream. At this time, I'd actually like to ask our police chief a couple of questions, if I may, before we make a motion for whatever the board wants to decide to do with this resolution. Would that be okay? Thank you. Chief?
Make sure I can turn the mic on. Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
You had sent us some information. You were also instrumental in writing the resolution. You have made recommendations to the board. You've provided us information. So since you haven't been asked by our local community that I'm aware of, you and I have had several conversations about this bill. What is your feeling on this bill? We know that there's good and there's bad parts. What's the good parts of this bill that we really should keep in it? And what are some parts of the bill that Springfield really should be talking to people like you, to our local prosecutors, because it is going to impact the way that you do your jobs?
Sure. I'll try to be concise, because to talk about 764 pages of a bill is probably unreasonable to do tonight. But first, let me say that police chiefs and law enforcement agencies in general are for common sense reform, unquestionably. Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police worked since July with the Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office on the very decertification language that is in this bill. So we want to have the ability to remove police officers that shouldn't be police officers from the job. So that sort of decertification language does just that. It gives us some more teeth to go ahead and do that. So that's a pro. We are also pro standardizing use of force language. That is a good thing. This bill didn't quite get there, but the concept is good. There are some issues with the bill from a language perspective. For example, you as a citizen, if you have somebody in your yard peeking in your windows and you call the police can come out and issue a ticket. But if that person isn't threatening you and refuses to leave, they can't remove them. They can write them a ticket and leave. So now you're stuck with them on your property. What are you supposed to do with them? So these are the types of language issues that we find in the bill. And I think both sides have some disagreement there because we interpret the bill as it's written. I think some would say, well, that's not what it says. I can send you to the page number. That's exactly what it says. So we have to interpret it as it's written because that's the way that the law is going to be held. So it's things like that. Body cameras. We are pro body cameras. However, what we've done now is we've created a couple of obstacles for the police. We've said in this law that an officer is not able to view their footage before he or she writes their police report. I don't understand why that would be. It doesn't make any sense. We're all after an accurate police report. Why would we prohibit the officer from viewing the footage like they do on a DUI stop now with in-car video? They can go back to that in-car video footage to help make sure that their report is accurate. It goes a step further and creates a felony charge against the police officer if they don't necessarily abide by what's going on. The camera didn't go on at the right time. They actually watch the footage. They're just pieces of this bill that don't make a lot of sense. I could go on and on. We don't have time to do that tonight, but I guess in summary, I would say this. We support good reform, good policing. We want that. We want to be at the table for the rest of the conversation. The decertification language made it to the bill. There was really no other conversation about the other pieces. So that's where we stand.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
It does. It does. Thank you. And thank you for the examples. But just to clarify on dash cams and body cams, there is no way for an officer to be able to delete video.
I believe that to be true. Are you talking about the either or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like currently,
know that's true.
currently right now, our officers can't delete
That's
their
correct.
dash cam video.
That's correct.
Okay. And I would assume that it would be
I
the
would assume
same
the same.
for body cam. So the thought process that a bad police officer is going to destroy evidence, they would still get in trouble for that regardless if it was written as a class 3 felony. There would be disciplinary action if they
Correct.
tried to do that.
I don't know what the thought process was, but they can't delete the footage is really the answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
If I can just make a comment, also tonight, the village board approved some purchases for the current fiscal year that were being proposed for next year. And one of those items was body worn cameras.
We've pulled it forward instead of pushed it
Yes.
back.
Correct. And we talked about that at our budget workshop
Yes.
meeting, that we wanted to see when can we bring in body cams? This board has always been supportive of body cams. It's always just been the cost factor and trying to figure out how can we do it? Because that's the other problem with this bill is there's a lot of unfunded mandates in here. And in listening to a couple of the bill sponsors, they're hoping that there's going to be federal grants available, not state grants available, federal grants available to help offset the cost to municipalities. And I don't see that honestly happening. I don't think the federal government is going to look at Illinois any different than any other state. and say, let us give you money to outfit every police officer with body cams.
The unfunded mandate comment is true. There are a lot, whether it's training, body cams, there are a lot of unfunded mandates in the bill.
And we support training. I mean, we have one of the most robust training
Yes, we do.
budgets in the county, if not in the state, outside of the state police and probably a couple of the other bigger police departments. We support training. We go above the state mandate. So for us, the training language, I don't think is as important, but some of the training that's going to go on at the police academy is going to cost us more money. Some of the additional training that we may not do right now that they want to introduce for the mental health of and well-being of our residents and our police officers, it's going to cost us money. And again, when asked, and I've talked to many legislators, when asked, well, who's going to pay for this? We were told, well, you are. The village has to find the money to do that. And the way I look at this bill, it's not defunding the police. Every police budget's going to increase. It's just a matter of how much is it going to increase when they introduce the body cams. The training mandate, that's going to automatically increase police budgets. So we're going to have to make a decision whether do we cut the number of police officers to balance our budget, or do we have to take money from somewhere else within our budget to try and fund these mandates. I think as a village, we're very lucky. We are extremely lucky that we've been able to have the training that we have and that we do have money that we are looking at right now to put towards body cams now, rather than when the state would mandate us to have them in 4 years or 3 years, whatever it is, 2025.
Right.
So, thank you.
Chief, I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I know that someone mentioned in their comments about anonymous complaints to about police officers.
Yes.
I believe when I was an officer, someone, if they complained, they didn't really have to leave their name, and the police would still, Carroll Stream would still look into it. Is that true?
We will always look into a
Right.
complaint. The whole idea behind the anonymous complaint language, our concern is it creates an opportunity for an increase in frivolous complaints. We will always look into any complaint. That is just what we
Agreed.
do. And we should, and any professional police department will do that.
Whether you leave a name or not, you have to look into it.
Correct. So the whole affidavit thing, I can sign the affidavit
Right.
as the complainant. But the bottom line is we're trying not to create an environment where people drop frivolous.
And do you think that if you can complain about an officer after he gave you a ticket, do you think complaints will be going up? I'm just guessing. Yes.
I had to guess, I would guess.
Educated guess. People don't like getting tickets, and chances are they might complain.
Sure.
And so now we're, like you said, having to answer to those complaints. Okay.
And I want to be clear, we answer to them today.
Right, 100%. But at least someone has, we look into it.
Yes.
I just feel that this anonymous, where you don't have to leave your name, it's just gonna be, well, I got a ticket, so, this officer did this and this officer did that. Because it's happened to me.
Well, and one other thing, in researching this bill, there is language in the bill for confidential complaints.
Yes.
That's different than anonymous, because where confidential is if a complaint is made against an officer and it's found to be substantiated, then it would be up to you and the deputy chiefs to decide at that point, do you need to get more information from the complainant? Again, confidential, the officer would not know who necessarily was the complainant, but it would allow you to actually build a case against a bad police officer. Is that correct? Because what I read is some departments are concerned about an increase in anonymous complaints where they can't investigate them because there's not enough evidence, there's just not enough to the statement for them to be able to investigate it completely, and they have to close cases. Even if they feel that this is an officer that's had many complaints against them, they can't do anything because it'll tie their hands, and we may actually land up unintentionally leaving bad police officers on a police department.
It could. You're example is fair. The other side of the fairness piece is, on some level, anybody gets to defend themselves against, against a complaint. So on some level, depending on how far that complaint goes, there are always two sides. So my point is, I want to make sure that police officers are treated fairly as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I'm not going to speak for the whole board, but I technically think I can when I say we actually welcome reform. We know our police department does it right. We know this is not going to become an issue. And we know there are areas throughout the state that absolutely need more guidance because things aren't happening as they should. Just a general statement on that. I did make a motion to table this resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
motion.
Seconded by trustee LaRocca. Clerk?
Trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee LaRocca,
Aye.
trustee Giesser,
I don't think this is something we should be considering. So I will say no.
trustee Fruzzoloni,
No.
trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Okay. Move on to report of officers. Trustee Garvey.
A few weeks ago, see if I can lighten the moment here. I spoke of a personal resolution to be a better neighbor. Still working on it. I kind of shot myself in the foot. You remember the storm we had several weeks ago, first 6 inches or so. I was resolved I was going to be doing more snow blowing for neighbors. And as soon as I took the snow blower out, it broke. So I ended up shoveling my own driveway at least, which exhausted me. But so I had to replace the snow blower, and the one I bought, electric, by the way. The previous one was electric. This one's electric. This one is, there's warnings all over it. Do not have more than 100-foot extension cord on it. So now, I only have one neighbor that I can actually reach with my extension cord. So, I mean, I could probably take them over to other people's house, but then I'd be searching around, with a cord with a mask and a hat on. It'd be kind of silly. So anyway, Carroll Stream's always been a community marked by its volunteers, I believe, ever since I've been here. So what I'm hopeful for is bringing a subject matter up is that I can solicit some more ideas for us to pursue to be a better neighbor, and also for some needed inspiration beyond shoveling snow. I mean, that's only going to last so long. But I really think that for us to come out of what we've experienced in the last year, that the community needs to make an extra effort. And I think this will be helpful. So I've had a few ideas running errands for neighbors that are quarantined, helping somebody that's been out of a job, polishing their resume, that kind of thing. But what I'd like to do is also find out if anybody's paying attention to us here in our end of day reports. So I'd like to solicit people to send me emails. It might be a foolish thing to ask, but send me emails of what they're doing to be a better neighbor. And I'll be happy to read those at future meetings without giving any names or anything. But I would also, even if they don't want them read, I would accept them as inspirational. So my email is tgarvey@carrollstream.org. So if anybody's listening, I would appreciate inspiration. I also want to double my congratulations to Deputy Chief Don Cummings.
Thank you, trustee Garvey. Trustee Zalick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. like I said, I already congratulated Don. It's a great choice to promote him. He is well respected, and he'll do a fine job. Other than that, I don't have anything else on my report.
Thank you. Trustee LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I want to reiterate my congratulations to Don. I know he's going to do an excellent job for us. And that comment goes for the whole police department. The police department, as Trustee McCarthy said, our police department does it right. I have all the confidence and trust in the world that they will do the right thing. And they always have my support. And I think I'll hold comments from, I'll end my report there.
Thank you.
Oh, and once again, I apologize for the Roselle comment. Can't take all those years out of me just like that. I apologize for that.
Trustee Gizer.
Thank you very much. First off, I want to congratulate, as we did earlier, to Deputy Chief Don Cummings. Terrific choice. He's always, even back in the day, he always impressed me as a man on the rise. He was hardworking, he was energetic, he strived for excellence, and he strived to educate himself and the people around him. And he demanded excellence from the others around him. So I think this is a great thing for the village of Carroll Stream, and I know he'll do a terrific job. Other people doing a great job in Carroll Stream, seems like we're saying at every meeting, our Public Works Department. They had a lot of snow to pick up over the last few weeks, and just want to congratulate them and thank them for the great work that they are doing and will continue to do. I know we're projecting a little warmer weather over the next week, so who knows if the snow is done, but there's usually a March surprise every year, so I'm sure we're going to get walloped at least a couple more times. And to dovetail off of what Trustee Garvey was saying about neighborliness and being neighbors, a nice example of this just happened yesterday personally. Our furnace went out, and I am mechanically inept, so I had no idea what to do other than flip the switch and see if it reset, which I tried. And so I posted some things on social media, and the outpouring of support from our community, everything from sharing, call my guy at this company, call, the people I know who work for this company, to people offering a place to spend the night, to space heaters, to blankets, to just a cup of joe while we were waiting. So I would just want to thank the community for that neighborliness. My wife and I are truly, truly touched. And by the way, we did have a local business come out. He fixed the furnace. It wasn't technically the furnace, it was the thermostat, which I guess is
Way cheaper way to go.
way cheaper way to go. Luckily, he had one that he put it, he was able to replace. So that was terrific. So I just want to thank everyone, and that's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Frisoloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Again, the most sincere congratulations to Deputy Chief Cummings. He is going to do a remarkable job for a remarkable department. I can't say enough about our Public Works Department. It's been actually hurting me that I haven't been able to go out on a snowplow with them because of COVID. My husband and I celebrated our anniversary last night, and at 6 o'clock, we were trying to make our way to dinner, and the plows were out in full force. When we came back from dinner, the plows were out in full force. When I went to bed at night, the plows were out in full force. This morning, they were out in full force. These are guys that are working 16, 18-hour days on top of their regular job with the village. So they get a couple hours sleep, and then they go out and plow for 16 hours. Then they hope to get a couple more hours sleep before the next storm comes. I saw a statistic today, I think WGN put it out, that in an average winter, Chicago will get 36 inches of snow, and between January 15th and yesterday, we've received over 38 inches of snow. So we have packed a whole winter's worth of snow into basically a month, and winter is not over. My husband was actually commenting, he can't believe it's snowing so late, and I keep telling him my Facebook memories keep popping up. Warning, there's another storm coming. Please don't park on the streets. Let our plows do their job. Thank you to our Public Works Department. So February is a very snowy month for us, but just a phenomenal job to our Public Works Department. I know we're down a couple of plow drivers, and you could not tell from the efforts and the pride that they take in their job and the tough, very, very unsafe job that they do when you've got zero visibility and you're trying to maneuver a 1-ton truck. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, and they do just an amazing job. So thank you to Public Works. The last thing that I want to bring up is the resolution that I want to clarify my no vote. The reason I voted no is because I believe that we do have an obligation to let Springfield know when they are making laws that impact the 40,000 residents of Carroll Stream, when it impacts all of the businesses within Carroll Stream, and when it impacts the staff of Carroll Stream. And we have a great police department. And yes, our police department is going to do everything that they can to follow the letter of this law, as poorly written as it is. And that's the disappointing part, is that Springfield doesn't get held accountable, but we have residents to tell us that they want to hold us accountable when we disagree with Springfield. And I don't believe that I don't think that that's fair. That is our job. Our job is to let legislators know and to reach out to them. I don't care who sponsored this bill. I really don't. Couldn't tell you who voted for it, who didn't vote for it, what party they're affiliated with. What I can tell you is that the way that this bill was passed is not the way that bills should be passed. You don't make huge changes in the last hours of a legislative session, especially when you have people who are not being reappointed to their positions that get their vote. This should never have been done in the lame duck session. A bill basically introduced and passed within a week, and major changes made to it in the middle of the night without any conversation. And when bill sponsors are asked questions, they can't answer them and just say, just vote for it, because it's better to pass a bad bill than no bill at all. We would never do that up here. And if we ever did that, then the residents of Carroll Stream would have every right to be angry with us if we didn't take our time and really look at every single issue. And this board has tackled really tough issues in the past. They have not been popular decisions that we have made, but we have always made them with the best interests of our village in mind, and our residents and our businesses and our staff in mind. So my no vote was, I think we still should have maybe amended the language of the resolution and brought it back to the board for consideration. So that was what my no vote was for. I know our police are going to continue to be professional, and they're going to continue to be the police department that other police departments look up to. But this bill, if it is passed by the governor, and I think a lot of us up here feel that the governor is going to pass it regardless of what the residents of the state of Illinois have to say, and that our voice wouldn't have been heard if we had passed the resolution. I think at some point we need to make our voice heard. So I supported this resolution. I think we could have maybe updated a little of the language in it. Maybe instead of asking the governor to veto it, maybe ask for the General Assembly that's coming into session now to take a look at it and tighten up some of this language, and to make it an equitable bill that really is inclusive for every resident of Illinois, because it is not written that way right now. So I just wanted to clarify that so that my no vote was understood as what it meant. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Frisolini. Our village clerk, Julia Shorzy.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy. So I just wanted to, like everyone else, congratulate Deputy Chief Don Cummings. I met Don in Citizens Police Academy a couple of years ago with my daughter, and I just thought he was such a remarkable police officer because he was down to earth. He was a human being, and he wasn't intimidating. I always thought of police officers as being very scary people, and he was just so down to earth and just wanted to help us learn, and just a great guy. So I'm just so happy for him. And other than that, I just want to say, please shop Carroll Stream.
Thank you very much. Our village manager, Bob.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to clarify something that trustee LaRocca said. It's completely understandable why you thought Deputy Chief Cummings was from Roselle, because we do provide mutual aid to many of the municipalities in the area. And we have responded to Roselle and Bloomingdale more recently, so completely understandable. But again, congratulations to Don. He is very passionate, as you could see from his little speech that he gave after he was promoted. He's a workaholic. I always think of him as officer friendly because he is the most friendly guy you can meet. He's very approachable. He's very popular in the community. So it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and he's very well qualified. So one of the items that the village board approved tonight was the purchase of trees for the current fiscal year. And in order for us to do that, we're going to need to make the purchases fairly quickly because, if the weather keeps going as it is, we're going to have a very short window to plant, a couple hundred trees. So we'll be bringing that back to the board, probably requesting waiver of formal bidding because we won't have time to do that. So I just want to give you a heads up that that'll be coming forward to at a future board meeting. And then I just want to thank the residents of Carroll Stream for the many sidewalks that are shoveled. I walk at noon, travel a good part of the old part of the village along Coon Road, Thunderbird Trail, Western Trails. And it's funny because I'm going down the sidewalk and it's like a canal because the snow is so high and you can almost hear your voice echoing. But a lot of the residents are clearing out the sidewalks. They're clearing out the fire hydrants. And I didn't see too many parking on the streets. So just a reminder not to park on the streets. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Is our village attorney here?
I'm still here, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. The only thing I have this evening is to congratulate Don Cummings on becoming deputy chief, and want to congratulate the board and the executive staff for their choice. I think they made a wonderful choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I'll jump on the wagon of course, again, saying congratulations to Don Cummings. Chief, you made a great choice. You made an absolutely fantastic choice. You also had some options. So we're kind of proud of the fact that Don's not the only one who could have taken that position. And that's not taking anything away from Don. It's actually giving credit to our police department of the training and the work that everybody on staff does. So it's kind of nice knowing you have options, but it was a fantastic choice. Like I said earlier, it's kind of odd about right now, especially myself and trustee for Frusaloni and our families would be going insane getting going in the on our bags tournament. Sucks that we can't do it, but people are dealing with a lot worse than canceling a fundraiser. So we're actually still hoping maybe fall. We don't want to do it outside. We don't want to do it a different format. We kind of want to keep the same exact format. So it would either be in the fall or we'd push it off until, take the year off and recoup. I've got a few things popping at home that keep me busy anyway. The daughter's a couple months away from bringing the twins into the world. So we got plenty to do as it is. Again, the reform bill. I am not afraid of reform whatsoever. Like I stated before, our police staff, the department from the top on down, we have nothing to worry about. So the reform in itself doesn't bother me. The way it was done, people want to throw partisan politics. If you throw a resolution out there, you could argue the same thing of how it was passed in the middle of the night during a lame duck session without anybody having the ability to read it. And that's, like Trustee Frusaloni said, that's a lot what the resolution had to do with. Fixing the things that can be fixed and working together with all the stakeholders, not just one side, not just the other, but listening to concerns all the way around. Body cams are a great idea because they protect both both the police and people who are apprehended or whatever the situation comes up. So that's a good thing. Cash bond, I'll leave that alone. Everybody's got their personal opinion on that. But I still would like to, no, we didn't pass a resolution. No, the governor's not going to listen to our resolution. But I hope somebody gets in his ear and says, hey, how about we talk about this a little bit more? Just like Trustee Frusaloni says, there's nothing wrong with, before you just signing something, saying, well, maybe we can make this a little bit better before we put it into motion, as opposed to, let's pass it and then we'll fix it. That's not the way we do things, so it's hard for us to understand. But again, reform in itself, it's not just encouraged, it's a necessity. We all know that. So with that, I do hope something changes in Springfield. But I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Frusaloni, seconded by Trustee LaRocca. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Gizer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.